Beautiful facility here. I'm going to turn on this flame, very, very low, non-stick pan. Okay. I'm outside my comfort zone in the sense of that I've never cooked here before. So if you cook and you have your own kitchen, you know where stuff are. I don't. So whatever I am here, if it comes good, okay. No good, no good. All right. The first formula is the crepes. You don't have to look at it actually, but I'm going to mix what's called the muffin method. So when we teach culinary or pastry, we go by techniques. We don't teach secret recipes. We actually teach you how to create. That's Bergen Community College. That's my business as well. So I go by techniques. Once you learn a technique, you can do it. You can do any recipe that falls within that technique. Okay. So muffin method is named after muffins, but I'm actually making crepes. So that calls for dry ingredients, which is the flour here. I have some sugar. Okay. All the dry ingredients, some salt, and what else do we have here? We have some melted butter, which is right over here. I already melted it before. And this is powdered sugar for decoration, and I have some eggs. Okay? Muffin method, dry, separate, wet, separate. Okay? So what I'll do is, anything that is wet means any extracts, milk, water, eggs, anything that is wet goes in one bowl. Anything that is dry, powders, cocoa powder, flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, and so forth. You follow me, right? Can you repeat that? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. All right, so whisk, whisk, whisk. There is already vanilla extract in there. I lost my vanilla bean on the way. I wanted to show you how to split a vanilla bean. It's not going to happen today, so you're going to have to come to my restaurant to see it. Now, serve safe. We have to work clean. If it's raw materials, you're allowed not to use the gloves because that's going to go in the oven or on the pan and bacteria will die. If it's ready-made food, students will know that, right? They will know that. You cannot plate anything. This is our plating station today. You cannot plate anything bare hands. Okay, so this is how we operate. Okay, so now I'm making a well, muffin method. Okay, do we have, you good? Okay.
Yep. Oh, good.
Making a little hole here, and I'm going to pour everything inside. Did I forget my butter? You see that? Alright, that's me. This one. Okay, butter goes in. And my pan is heating up. And what I'll do is I'm just whisking it so it's all uniform, and I'm going to pour it right inside the well. And when I teach students in Bergen or my bakers, I always follow a technique, to make sure that everything is, uniform and not we don't scale by we scale everything. Nothing is by eye. I'm just going to introduce the flour into the mix here, okay? And so I don't have like lumps, too many. And then and I also want to work clean, so I didn't start with the whisk on purpose. And that's going to be good. Now I'm going with the whisk. When I feel safe, short motions, short and quick. Not like that, like this. And just keep turning the bowl. Usually, the crepe batter I like to leave overnight because it sticks to the pan. Okay, so if it sticks to the pan, you will know why. So I like to do it the day before. You can also do it 3 hours before and chill it. Okay. So again, mixing. I'm just whisking it to make sure that it's all uniform. We have a stack of those grapes in case it sticks. So you may, I don't want you to knock, on my door at 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get my crepe. So I'm gonna let it sit a little bit. Okay. In the meantime, I'll talk about the bananas. Just sit a little bit, and we'll see how it comes out. Banana flambe is the second formula. Basically, it's its own dish. You don't really have to make the crepes. Okay. In Bretagne, you usually going to split them in half, just like that. And this, because it's a banana, I like to use a glove. because it's just uncomfortable. It's going to be cooked and flambéed on the stove. Okay, and the other one here. Okay. And I'm going to chop it, slice it, I should say. If you use if you put your fingers this way, and you're going to use a knife, you're going to protect your fingers. You're never going to cut yourself, and I can, look at you and talk to you. You, come over. You can do it. No. It's okay. I don't have enough gloves. You're lucky. Okay. So I have enough bananas for today, and let's see. Okay. So now this pan is hot. Don't do that at home. I'm just making sure. And I'm going to introduce a little bit of butter, okay, which already has a lot in here. Some versions of crepes are made with butter, some made with butter, some made with beer, some made with oil. Depends on what you're looking to achieve. Okay. That's my spatula, and while the butter is melting, let me see. That should be good. Okay. So very low flame. Like I said, that's very liquid. When you put it in the refrigerator, you will see that the consistency is very, very thick. And then when you pour it, it's going to make more sense. But this is the technique of how to do a crepe. You just put a very scant film on the bottom. Okay. You kind of swirl it a little bit to make sure that it gets nice and even, okay? And you can even, the stove can be a little bit high. The flame, okay. This should be ready in about when you have guests at home, you want to make it 20. It should take you about 5 minutes to, if you can do a couple of pans, so you're not there all day. I'm just gonna do one to show you how we do it. Okay. You can use a spatula to turn it, or you can go this way, and if it gets stuck to the ceiling, it's your problem. But I always like to check underneath, and when it starts getting dry, it will pull beautifully out of the non-stick pan. Okay? Okay, so I can see that it's not gonna stick today, so that's good. You're gonna taste something. All right, Cointreau. Anyone knows what that is? That's an orange-based liquor. Okay, so you can flambe with liquor, you can flambe without, because what I'll do basically is I'm going to use the same pan to make caramel with this sugar, okay, and then I'm going to hit it with this butter, kind of using it as an ice cube to stop the cooking, because caramel sugar cooking is quite complex. It goes through 7 conditions, from melting it to like simple syrup, going through different conditions, all the way to caramel, which is just before you burn it. And most of us, in the beginning of our career, we do get to 360 degrees. That's when you lost the caramel, and then you have to start thinking about how you wash this guy. Okay, so that moves nice. Now I can get more color than that, because color is flavor. Okay, most of my customers in the Patisserie Florentine, they like the color of the baking, which is more on the European side, a little darker. That means there is a reaction, a chemical reaction. It's called the Maillard browning. That's when the sugars in anything caramelize. So you have sugars, carbs in anything pretty much, and based on the quantity within a given ingredient, it will brown more or less. Okay, I like to get into more like a medium, kind of a maybe past medium browning, generally. And it's true to not just pastry, true to chicken. When you brown, it gets brown because of sugars in it. Okay? Did you know there are some sugars in chicken? Okay, good. So, can I try it? Let's see. First time with this pen, please. didn't work out. But don't worry, because the integrity of this crepe, you see, I'm human. Right? The integrity of the structure is good, it's sound, and that's why I can, even if I flip it, I can practice more and more, and eventually I get it right. Just practice makes perfect. Okay, so this crepe is going to go out of the way, and we're going to start caramelizing. Am I good with time? Yes? Okay. If you suffer, I won't be offended if you walk out of the door, it's okay. Sugar. Okay, I can add some water. If I'm a beginner baker, I'm going to add some water so it doesn't burn. It gives me a little bit more room for error, but I can actually caramelize sugar just like that on a pan. It will burn, I promise you, if the flame is on. It will caramelize. So I'm putting a little bit more. This is caramel sauce that I made at Patisserie Florentine, just the same way I started. And what I'm waiting now for is the caramelization of the sugars. Getting it to about 320 Fahrenheit. You don't have to measure. Between 320 to 340 is going to be a good color. If the caramel, this is a medium to dark. You can see the color on the screen if you can see it here. Okay, and light caramel doesn't really taste that caramel. Okay, so I'm going with the flame a little higher. And this butter is going to stop the cooking at about 320. Once I feel like I reach the color, I know I can put the butter. It will create this nice sauce, caramel sauce. And then bananas are going in, and some flame. Is the fire suppression system working? Yes, it's going to work right on my grapes. Or yes, it should have some tolerance to flame, right? So I hope it's okay. We'll know. You know, sprinklers, umbrellas out, and everything will be good. Okay. Can you see the color here?
I've got it. I'm recording it.
Yes? Okay. If you can see it on the screens, you will see that it starts getting color, right? And that's very light. It looks like it's going to burn. I'm just evenly using the heat of the pan to get more color. And by moving it, look how quick it gets. You see the smoke? At that point, ice cube. Think ice cube? Okay. That's worse than deep frying oil because that sticks. So really be careful when you make caramel. Okay, the butter is melting. Okay, caramel is ready. Bananas. All right, the caramel is already cooking it. I don't really need much of a flame because of the high temperature. Okay. Let's see what's going to happen. Don't worry that much. You know, I wouldn't do it if the fire trucks are notified, right? Off the flame, because if I do it here, it may have a little bit of a. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, you made me look good. Okay, so now, what happens to alcohol when it burns? It dissipates, right? So it's okay to give it to kids because they're not going to actually have alcohol in their food. It's just the flavor, the orange flavor that you're flambeing the bananas with orange flavor. That's called sautéing, okay, to jump, so to saute in French. So don't do it when you are a beginner because that's a bad burn. Okay, these guys are ready. Okay, We're good with the stove. We're gonna move to plating if you wanted to adjust anything.
Does it work?
Okay. Alright, so now, plating is fun. This is where you get to play.
Looking up there.
And I'm just gonna do something very simple. Imagine you make 20 of them, you can put 20 plates, your guests are gonna be ready waiting. Where is my crepe? Right? Just pour it right here. It's very hot now, obviously, and just like that, okay? I lost one glove, that's why I look ridiculous. Okay, a little bit. Okay. Clean plate. This is a 3-star restaurant, right? Just like when I worked at La Grenouille in New York City, and we sold these guys for $17. $17 eclairs, never seen in my life, but I know I made them, so it must be good. Never paid for them though. Okay, a little bit more bananas. $17 for small desserts, but they were really good. And then, what's missing? Just a little touch. I gotta do this one, okay? You ready for this? Anyone knows that? I'm not gonna ruin the dish. Just a touch, because more is definitely less, and less is definitely more. You don't have to do that. The last one was like for the show. Okay, that's that. And I can't believe I'm doing this. I didn't make ice cream for today, but it's for presentation. So what's we call in three-star environment, you always get this beautiful oblong shape of ice cream, right? It's kind of like, that's called the canal, okay? And when the ice cream is made from scratch, it has different, very, very simple ingredients. It's kind of less stretchy. It's less churned, overchurned ice cream has a lot more air in it. This one, obviously I didn't make, so it does not gonna come as clean, but when you do that, if you want to impress, scoop to impress, you just do a very, very hot spoon. So, Debbie, that's for you. That's for Join. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. I hope you had enjoyed it. I have special guests here, my brother /partner of Patisserie Florentine, and my boss, Dr. Victor Brown of the Division Dean at Bergen Community College. I left the programs that we have. You'll see the brochures. We are building an amazing, almost $14 million facility in Hackensack. It's going to be a few-story building with restaurants, bakeries, chocolate shop, ice cream shop, everything shop. It's in it will take a couple of years, but it's in the making. We are sitting in the deep mazes and the basements of Bergen Community College, planning with the architects around long tables. I think that this is amazing for Bergen County. So thank you. Thank you. Sorry for the mess. No, that's good. That's okay. So anything I did
Avec les chaleurs là.